Hi, good people. We are here for part 3 of our series on emotional intelligence. We learned in part 2 um, all of the the list of the key characteristics of emotional intelligence, or the 5 traits of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Now we're going to talk about, in this third part, strategies for developing those traits. So for self-awareness, number 1, the key to being self-aware is reflecting on oneself, and that leads me back to one of my earlier videos on self-reflection. And so the best way to reflect is to actually write it down in the form of journaling. So get yourself a good journal, and you can either journal digitally, or you can journal in the old-fashioned hardbound cover journal with pen and paper. So you need to be keeping a journal. You need to also, as a part of self-awareness, slow down and think before you act. I mean, I know that sounds really simple, but it's true. A lot of folks, leaders, people who are doing anything, interacting with people, are quick to, it comes up and it comes out. Think first. Thinking and slowing down are key. Self-regulation is the second trait of emotional intelligence, and the strategy, lots of strategies to self-regulate. Leaders tend to be really bad at self-regulation, and these days across the United States and probably internationally, that kind of bad self-regulation has been rewarded. People who are quick to explode and throw tantrums, basically publicly. This kind of behavior is now, or as of late, has been considered acceptable. It is not. Primarily not for leaders of anything. So you really need to practice keeping a cool head. Again, take a knee. Count to 10, leave the situation, think on it, reflect, then act. That is very essential to self-regulation. Examine your code of ethics. Everybody has some codes of ethics, a code of ethics. The problem is most people project that code onto other people, and they do not align themselves or hold themselves accountable to their own code of ethics. So do that as well. Motivation. Leaders and others, in whatever endeavor you're embarking upon, examine your whys, or your essential why, your purpose for taking up the action, the endeavor, the organization, the change that you're leading, whatever it is. Re-examine that. And if it turns out that you're really walking in that purpose, and you're really there for a good reason, then you're intrinsically motivated. And your job as the leader is to allow that motivation to become contagious, to inspire the people that you're leading. And that will help as well. Which leads to number 4, empathy. We keep coming back to empathy. It's essential for everything, and primarily leaders. It's absolutely for leaders. In order to empathize with people, you have to get to know them on a deeper, more personal level. It seems today that so many folks in leadership roles are afraid to get to know the people they're leading. That's a mistake. And I don't mean, take everybody to lunch every day or go out for drinks all the time. Simple daily interaction and intentional one-on-ones with the folks that you lead. Sometimes that might include a lunch here or there, in groups possibly, smaller groups, more intimate groups, and listen to what they're saying. You should know a little bit about whatever they think is important that they tend to share. Some people overshare, but other people share in appropriate measure, and you need to take note of who you're leading. They're your team. You guys are in this together. Get to know them. Pay attention to body language. Sadly, either people who are leading are ignoring these nonverbal codes and nonverbal language, or they're not aware of it. That means you're not paying attention. You really have to focus on people to develop your emotional intelligence. They're giving you cues for when you're annoying, when they're upset by something, when they are happy about something, when something is really cool. They're giving you cues, and you need to pay attention to them. Do more of the things that elicit good responses, and do less of the things that elicit bad responses. And those are the things that you need to be reflecting on in order to hone that self-awareness in number one. Respond to people's feelings. That's also, we're still on empathy. I know feelings and emotions are difficult, especially when you, as the leader, don't think they're appropriate. Suspend your judgment about why that person is crying, about why that person is explosive. And please don't, with an explosive person, tell them to calm down. The moment you tell an angry person to calm down, they're going to turn it up a few notches. You can diffuse situations without using those words, and without giving up or becoming a part of the problem. And if you are the problem, you definitely need to tune in, listen, diffuse, listen to understand. That's another of my videos here. And try to put yourself in that situation and respond based on that. Or even if you put yourself in that situation and you still think it's absurd, you still think it's ridiculous, try to understand their point of view. And the point of it all is to understand their point of view, or at least attempt to, and then move to resolution. And so that leads me to social skills. One of the strategies to develop social skills is learning conflict resolution and how to manage that. Conflict resolution is difficult. It is a skill. It is something that you actually could get some professional development to hone that skill, or a coach to hone that skill. And whenever you're leading more than one person, there's inevitably going to be conflict. And you can't ignore it. If you do ignore it, it will fester, and it will brew, and it will create insurmountable tension in the team, and you can't get your daily stuff done. You can't meet goals. You can't storm, norm, and perform. You can't do all those things that great teams do. And ultimately, as the leader, you're responsible for coordinating and facilitating all of this. Improving your communication skills. Yes, lots of introverted people choose leadership. It is not impossible to be an introverted leader. It just takes a lot of energy from that person to lead every day. I have some tips on improving your communication skills. That 3 sentence rule video. And really, communication skills come from within. Um, Lead with empathy always. And learning how to give praise, not only privately, but publicly as well. But that's one thing you should be giving publicly and privately, is praise. Simple compliments. And don't be disingenuous. Don't give the same person a similar compliment every other day. Be sincere. If you see something good, take note of it and compliment it. Say something. The worst kind of leadership is someone who's always quick to recognize the negative and slow to recognize the strengths and the positive stuff. And that authentic word, be authentic with people. And the only way to do that is to be vulnerable. Disidentify with the ego. You're just a person with a purpose, trying to walk in it. That's all, just like they are. And so if you genuinely try to be authentic with people, they see it. Put down all of your facade and your walls, and you really have to be vulnerable with them. And so that really leads us to the end of it. So those are the strategies for those 5 types of emotional intelligence. We talked about self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, so important, and social skills. And so that covers it, everybody. I'm Dr. Sonya McCoy-Wilson. I'm an executive coach. My link tree is below this video. I look forward to seeing you a lot and working with you.